If you grew up with the original Dragon Ball anime and experienced the shift to Dragon Ball Z, then you'll remember many of the ways in which DBZ reinvented the series. For instance, the move to a more mature, less comedic tone, the sudden irrelevance of the flying Nimbus, the glow-up that revolutionized anime, and the emergence of Gohan as the show's new hero. Wait a second, that never happened. What did happen is that Gohan was clearly built up to surpass Goku, only to eventually get backpedaled into a shadow of his former self. It was awkward, but why did it happen? Well, you probably know that the Dragon Ball manga and anime are centered on Goku, his companions, and his rivals as they take on various existential threats to Earth and the universe. With the series following Goku from childhood into young adulthood as he unlocks new powers, crushes formidable foes, finds love on Earth, and changes his hair color more often than a circus clown in a midlife crisis. However, when the super android Cell pushes the Z-Fighters to the brink, roughly 400 chapters into the manga and almost 200 episodes into the anime, Goku reveals that his son Gohan has surpassed him as the most powerful fighter on the side of good. And then, Goku sacrifices his life in a last-ditch effort that leaves Gohan as the only fighter capable of defeating Cell. Gohan, emotions running wild, rises to the task, and a new hero is born. The passing of the torch from father to son was a moment of tremendous gravity in Dragon Ball. And surely, given that Goku had already used the Dragon Balls to return to life once before, we were seeing Gohan taking over Goku's role as the story's main character. And the next generation of Dragon Ball was finally underway. Only for Akira Toriyama to walk back the transition by resurrecting Goku again to retake the spotlight by the end of the next saga. And by the time Dragon Ball Super rolled around, aside from a few moments in the sunlight, Gohan had pretty well been rendered irrelevant. Fans have speculated that the reversal was due to backlash or even death threats made by Goku-loving nutjobs, but it's more likely that Toriyama merely decided to nip a questionable character change in the bud. And when asked about the turnaround in a Story Guide interview in 1995, Toriyama said the following: "I intended to put Gohan into the leading role. It didn't work out. I felt that compared to Goku, he was ultimately not suited for the part." Years later, he expanded upon his intentions and second thoughts regarding Gohan in an exchange that went like this. "At the time, the end of the Cell games, Gohan was turning into the main character, wasn't he? Yeah, I figured Goku was getting old and it was time to switch over to the next generation. That's what Goku himself said in the Majin Buu arc. But drawing Gohan's daily life made me gradually realize that he likes studying more than fighting. Later on, he even lost his dogi. Now he's fulfilled his childhood dream and become a fine scholar." It's interesting to hear Toriyama touch on what could have been, and as awkward as it was to refocus on Goku, he surely did make the right move. After all, whereas Goku had always been dead set on becoming stronger and pursued that goal of his own volition, Gohan only ever fought when the circumstances forced him to, and he was always more interested in his scholarship, a goal that isn't all that well aligned with the core appeal of Dragon Ball, getting jacked and beating the beans out of people. Also, just for a second, consider the goals of other popular protagonists. Luffy aims to be the Pirate King, Ash Ketchum aims to be a Pokemon Master, Giorno aims to control the entire Italian underworld, Tanjiro aims to save his sister from Michael Jackson, and Guts aims to exact revenge for a truly terrible betrayal. On the other hand, Gohan aims to be a family man who writes research papers on insects. That is a wonderful lifestyle to pursue, but not exactly a riveting vision for a character at the front and center of a shonen battle series. And yet, one has to wonder how Dragon Ball would have taken shape had Goku stayed dead and Gohan truly entered the #1 spot. But what do you think? Now, someone, get that man a senzu bean.